Welcome to my YouTube channel. Wish you all a happy and prosperous new year. Grade 11 Science. Today I am going to present the first lesson of grade 11, Living Tissues, Part 1, Plant Tissues. What's a tissue? A tissue is a group of cells of one type or different types which are specialized to perform a particular function and have a common origin. Now I am going to classify plant tissues. Plant tissues can be divided into two types as permanent tissues and meristematic tissues. Permanent tissues can be divided into two types as simple permanent tissues and complex permanent tissues. Simple permanent tissues are in three types: Parenchyma, Sclerenchyma, and Sclerenchyma. Complex permanent tissues can be divided into two as phloem and xylem. Then meristematic tissues. Meristematic tissues can be divided into three types: apical meristem, lateral meristem, and intercalary meristem. What are known as meristematic tissues? The tissues with cells that divide actively by mitosis to produce new cells are called meristematic tissues. These cells are not differentiated. The growth of plants takes place due to the activity of meristematic tissues. Features of meristematic tissues. This tissue consists of small-sized living cells. No intercellular spaces or intercellular spaces are not prominent. There is a distinct nucleus in each cell. Absence of large central vacuole, but small vacuoles may be present. Large number of mitochondria are present. You can identify location of meristematic tissues by this diagram. What are the types of meristematic tissues? First one, apical meristems. Apical meristems are found in shoot apex, root apex, and axillary buds. Plant increases its height due to the activity of this tissue. Second type, intercalary meristems. Intercalary meristems are found at nodes. The length of internode increases due to the activity of the above tissue. They are found in plants of grass family. Third type, lateral meristems. Lateral meristems are present laterally in the stem and roots of plant. They are found parallel to the longitudinal axis of the plant. The diameter of the plant increases due to the activity of this tissue. Cambium tissue found in dicotyledonous plants is a lateral meristematic tissue. Cambium tissue can produce new cells. They are the secondary phloem and secondary xylem. This process is called secondary growth. Monocotyledonous plants have no cambium tissue, so secondary growth is not taken place. So diameter of the plant is not increased. What are known as permanent tissues? Tissues which are differentiated for a specialized function are called permanent tissues. There are two main types of permanent tissues: simple permanent tissues, one type of cells collected together; complex permanent tissues, different types of cells collected together. Simple permanent tissues. This tissue is composed of similar cells. There are three types of simple permanent tissues: parenchyma tissue, parenchyma tissue, and sclerenchyma tissue. Now study the given diagram. Parenchyma tissue. In this tissue you can identify vacuoles, cell membrane, intercellular spaces, cytoplasm, thin primary cell wall. Here you can identify cross-section of parenchyma tissue and longitudinal section of parenchyma tissue. This is the structure of a parenchyma cell. Now we'll see characteristics of parenchyma tissue. They are living cells. Cell wall material is cellulose, pectin and hemicelluloses, roughly spherical to elongated in shape. Isodiametric. Have intercellular air spaces. Corners not thickened. Contains only one cell type. Then functions of parenchyma tissue. Packing tissue, metabolically active, allow gaseous exchange, food is stored, transport of materials through cells or cell walls. Examples: palisade cells, spongy cells, Parenchyma and Sclerenchyma, food and water storage tissues. Here you can find the cross section of dicotyledonous leaf. In the leaf you can find the different types of cells: palisade parenchyma cells, spongy parenchyma cells, cuticle, upper epidermis, stomata, guard cells and lower epidermis. Sclerenchyma tissue. You can study the structure of Parenchyma tissue by the given diagrams. Characteristics of Parenchyma tissue. Contains only one cell type. They are living cells. Have no intercellular spaces. Polygonal in shape. Corners thickened with cellulose. Functions of Parenchyma tissue. Mechanical support, photosynthesis. Chloroplasts are found in the parenchyma of immature dicot stems, so photosynthesis carried out by those cells. Location: this tissue can be found in outer parts of the stems and in the midrib of leaves. Sclerenchyma tissue. Now study the structure by the given diagram. Characteristics of Sclerenchyma tissue. Contains only one cell type, non-living cells, no intercellular spaces, thickened with lignin. Functions of Sclerenchyma. Mechanical support. Types of Sclerenchyma tissue. There are two types. First one, fibers, elongated cells, examples hemp fiber and coir. Second type, sclerites or stone cells, roughly spherical in shape. Examples in pear fruit, coconut shell, seed coat of coffee. Complex permanent tissues. Different types of cells together form a complex permanent tissue. Two complex permanent tissues as xylem and phloem can be identified in plants. Xylem and phloem are found in vascular systems of root, stem and leaves of the plant. Here you can identify the phloem tissue and xylem tissue. By this diagram you can identify the structure of the xylem tissue and types of xylem tissue. Xylem tissue. This tissue is composed of 4 different types of cells. First one, xylem vessel element. Second one, tracheids. Third one, xylem parenchyma. Fourth one, fibers. Xylem vessel elements are cylindrical, elongated cells. Xylem vessel elements stack on top of the others and the cross walls are dissolved to form a continuous xylem vessel. This tubular structure helps in transportation of water in plants. Tracheids are elongated, spindle-shaped cells. They also help in transportation of water. Xylem fibers are narrower and shorter than the tracheids. Xylem vessels, tracheids and xylem fibers become dead due to lignification of cell walls. They provide support to the xylem tissue. Xylem parenchyma are living cells with a thin cell wall. They involve in food storage. Functions of xylem. Transportation of water and minerals to the plant body which are absorbed by plant roots. Providing of mechanical support to the plant body. Phloem tissue. Study the structure of the phloem tissue by the given diagram. Left side you can find the longitudinal section of the phloem tissue. Right side you can find the cross section of the phloem tissue. Here you can identify CU plates, phloem parenchyma, companion cells, CU tube element, CU plate, pores. Phloem tissue is composed of 4 different types of cells: CU tube elements, companion cells, phloem fibers, and phloem parenchyma. Functions of the phloem tissue. The food synthesized in the leaves are transported throughout the plant body. This is known as translocation of food. Now we'll discuss 2 structured questions. First, you have to stop the video and write your answers. Then continue the video. Question number 1. The cells of multicellular organisms are organized as tissues to perform their various life activities. Explain what is meant by a tissue. A tissue is a group of cells that are adapted for a special function or functions. Part 2. Write down one function performed by each of the tissues: epidermis, phloem, and xylem found in the plant body. Epidermis protect the internal tissues getting dried up and avoid entering germs. Phloem transporting of food, that is translocation. Xylem conduction of water and mineral salts. Part 3a. Shown here are rough enlarged diagrams of a phloem cell and a xylem cell. What is the type of cell denoted as X? That is xylem. Part B. Write down one structural feature that distinguishes the xylem tissue from the phloem tissue. Xylem tissues have thick walls. No cross wall in xylem tissues. Part C. For the performance of which function of the xylem tissue does the feature you mention in B above become important? The thick-walled xylem vessels give rigidity to plant. Since there are no cross walls, it helps the upward conduction of water column in the plant. Now we'll discuss question number 2. Part A. When classifying organisms, cell-level organisms as well as the tissue-level organisms can be seen. Part 1. are concerned, what unit of organisms can the cell be considered? Basic, structural and functional unit. Part 2. State the features shown when the cell organized into tissues. Same type of cell collection. They are specialized for one function. Part B. 1. The diagram illustrates parenchyma and sclerenchyma tissues. A. Which diagram shows the cross-section of the sclerenchyma tissue? Diagram Q. B. State the characteristic which you use to identify that tissue. Corners are thickened in parenchyma cells but not in sclerenchyma tissue. Now we have come to the end of the lesson. In part 2 video, you can learn about animal tissues. Subscribe my channel and click the bell icon to get the next video quickly. Thank you.